Hello, StarCraft fans. We are into the second match of the semifinals of the StarCastTV Star League Season 2. As we all know, Snow took down Shine 4-3 to make it into the finals. But the question is who is he going to be facing off against? Is it going to be Sharp or is it going to be Best? Let's take a look at our bracket. Like I said, we had a 4-3 in the first semifinals. Really epic series. Shine almost had it, man. That Troy game, one of the longest games I've casted in a long time. Really epic. I'm looking forward to seeing both the finals and the third place match. Sharp versus Best, however, this is going to be an interesting one. We already saw Sharp take down Mini in probably the series of the tournament. Absolutely crazy games. In the end, Sharp barely won versus the Carriers. However, Best has been looking insane in PvT. This guy, as you can see in the bottom side, went through Rush and Royal undefeated. So 5-0 versus Terran so far. But can Sharp actually pull out a victory for Team Terran? We'll see. Let's get a look at our map picks today. No Troy. No Troy. There we go. Last pick, Troy. We need that to be the last pick because Troy is just such a devastating map for Terran players. Radion, then Apocalypse, then Citadel, Blitz, and Retro. I think this is a pretty good lineup just in general. Actually, I'm just now realizing Troy is not the final pick. It's the sixth map. So we actually are likely to get there because I don't expect this series to be a blowout. I think this is going to be relatively close because of how well both players are playing. So with all that said, let's get into our first game, which is going to be Radion. Okay, in the top right, our Terran player, it is Sharp, or sorry, bottom right. And in the top left, our Protoss player, it is Best. So we've got diagonal spawns here. We know that 12 Nexus has been making a resurgence these days. Almost every game is like a 12 Nexus, at least in my experience on the ladder. And we're seeing it quite a lot right now also at the pro level. I wonder if Best will go for 12 Nexus here. This would be obviously good spawns for him, but he doesn't know that he's gotten the dream spawn with the cross spawn position. And just pylon in the main, so no forward gate shenanigans. And Sharp, what's his opener going to be? As I've mentioned in previous casts, what I like about Sharp is he's willing to mix up his build orders. He pulled out a variety of builds in ASL, specifically versus Hero. What was it, like a 5 or 6 game series, and every game was a different build order? I think we're likely to see a mix-up of build orders here also in TVP versus Best. We do have Gateway coming down, so no 12 Nexus this time. And Sharp, okay, I thought that SCV was going to go to the low ground, but instead, just hanging around. And will it be an 11 gas? He did get the right mineral patches, and it is going to be an 11 gas. 133 gas. This is going to be setting himself up for, you know, the legendary 222 factory. That would be a very quick factory for him. And meanwhile, Best going into gas as expected. Okay, I do have to say that was an interesting scout from Best at top right. If he had done the same thing at bottom right, would he have actually gotten a glimpse of that Rax? I'm not actually completely sure that he would have even seen that Rax. So I'm going to say that was what I call a non-scout. Luckily for him, Sharp is not there though. And Best is actually going to build a Zealot. We can see he's sitting at 16 supply, so Zealot is definitely on the way. I wonder if it'll get canceled as he sees this Rax. Are you going to cancel it? No cancel. As you've heard me mention in a lot of previous casts, You know, I've been curious about cross spawn or diagonal scout patterns. Like, what's the purpose of this? Are you going to cancel the zealot if you know, see that they're diagonal spawn? Now, of course, this wasn't exactly a diagonal scout because he went top right first, but he still had opportunity to cancel that zealot. In the end, doesn't cancel it. So I guess that theory has gone out the window watching this game. But this zealot, you know, it's been delayed like 8 seconds or something. Like 3 Marines are already here. Okay, what I like that Best has done is he knows that the 3 Marines are going to be done, obviously. There's going to be an SCV on the low ground, so he's instead held off with the attack and is going to wait for the Goon to come in for the combo. Now, 3 Marines, 1 Vulture, they do not win versus 1 Zealot, 1 Dragoon. Vulture is going to be moving out. Now, a lot of times, Vulture will move off to the right side because they want to avoid potentially the probe just sitting there waiting or, you know, intercepting the Goon. You know, they want to act like, hey, I didn't build a Vulture, but you actually did. Oh, Sharpie knows that there's no way that this guy just sent 1 Goon across the map. He must have hidden the Zealot, and that's exactly what he's done. Perfect micro subvert, the Goon bugged out! So not only does he lose his Zealot immediately, he doesn't kill anything. He damaged heavily 1 Marine, but that's it. That was really impeccable defense. And that means that Sharp is going to have a dream opener here. Already has eliminated one of the biggest threats. Really good read by him also to know that that was coming. Now that is an extremely fast starport, by the way. A lot of times you see Terran players start their starport at 4:30. This starport is going to be finished at 4:30. This drop is going to be so damn fast. Wow, I really think that Best is going to be in trouble here. Like, the Vulture drop is going to have potential to deal so much damage. Now, this is a really good probe drill. He's going to eliminate the first Vulture pretty much immediately. Oh, DT drop? Didn't even notice that. But eliminating the first Vulture is a big deal because now Best knows that, hey, this guy, he lost his first Vulture. There's no way that he can have mines on the field. And that means that the Dragoons can actually just, you know, move out freely. As I say that there could be no possibility for mines, we see the first one coming down. But, ooh, did he spot it? Oh my gosh, that almost connected. That was very close. That was very close. However, mines being set up in case Goons try to get frisky here. We see that Best is not going to risk it. I just now noticed also that Sharp got away with not having to build a bunker. That's why he's able to get his starport up so fast. A canceled gateway. Is that a mistake? That looked like a mistake. I was thinking maybe Best was supply blocked, and that's why he needed to cancel that gate to build a pylon. But he was not supply blocked, so that was a massive mistake right there. Instead of being able to get out 2 DTs, what is it going to be, a single DT drop? Still, 125, 100 is a very strong unit, but would definitely prefer to have it be 250, 200. Now, Vulture drop into the natural. 1 probe, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and he runs through the natural also. And I don't even know if Vultures got unloaded in the main, because I didn't see actually anything drop off, but he transferred his probes to the natural either way, and so he lost all of his mining in the main, lost like 10 probes at the natural. Yeah, I didn't see a single Vulture get unloaded there, so Sharp is at a massive advantage, but the question is did he notice that a DT drop is on the way? The answer is he did not, because turrets are scrambling to get put up. But remember, there's only 1 DT. Really good drilling to bug out the DT. Look at that! Oh my gosh, this DT drop was basically useless. However, we saw a DT drop be executed to perfection versus Rush, dragging the mines into the SCV mineral line. But this time around, the DT just immediately died. And there's a Wraith, so see you later, shuttle. And I think Best is doing all he can really do, which is just panic build a third base. Pray that this guy doesn't punish you for it, and try to recover your econ that way. He was down 10 workers, he's now only down 4, so he has recovered a little bit in that sense, but Best, he is in a world of hurt right now. Only 2 on gas. Okay. I will say this about Best. Best is very diligent with managing his probes. I think he really understands, you know, when you're on 7 bases, you don't have to have, you know, 20 at each base. He'll just put the minimum amount of probes, 1 per patch. So I expect him to actually realize that mistake pretty soon and fix it. I don't think it's going to be something like, for speaking for myself, that will be, you know, lost or forgotten for the entirety of the game. Now we do have the first armory finally completing. So this was like a 7:30 armory, a very, very late upgrade timing. But this is going to line up very nicely for how the game has unfolded so far. If he tries and puts down like maybe 3 more factories and goes for a 6-fact push, for one, it would be amazing versus this low eco Protoss build. But also it would line up very nicely with the +1 timing. I think we could see something like that from Sharp. I do see an additional factory just went down. Probes did get transferred to the 3rd base, and a scan went off. Oh my gosh, he unloads right when the probes transfer. If I was to watch this replay, I'd be like, dude, how does he know? And there's a drop in the natural. Double drop. Was it a double drop or just a run by? I didn't see the dropship. Maybe the dropship got taken down, but either way, this is ridiculous damage from Sharp. Am I watching Fantasy or Royal? Like, this looks like a Fantasy or Royal type of game. Just merciless with the vultures. But despite all the damage, best supply, still even with Terran. Terran has lost a lot of vultures, but critically for Terran, Terran has lost no tanks. 3rd command center is done, so he's basically going to be matching the econ of Protoss. And Protoss is probably feeling like they've got to do something at this point. How many goons does he actually have in the center of the map? Was it like 10? I don't think 10 is going to be able to deny this 3rd base. So I'm expecting Sharp to be able to pretty much get this 3rd base essentially for free. Now this would be great if he can somehow intercept this drop, shut this down. Because this drop has just been insane. Oh, I can see it on the mini-map. Sharp. I don't think he's gonna be able to spot this. See you drop. Oh, he spotted it! How? The reaction time is nuts. Ends up saving the dropship, at least for now. But he's gonna unload. I think he realizes that, hey, I'm not gonna be able to get out of here, so he just unloads. But at the same time, look at the multitask, sneaking out some vultures on the right side. I don't think that was spotted by the observer. Look at the, there's no vision. Protoss has no idea that this is coming. Oh, vulture run by in the natural? No. Oh, okay, here we go. Now we're on the move. He's gonna intercept this probe, of course, because that's just what he does in this game. Oh, free Templars, are you serious? There are more Archons, man. No, probe, you just walled him in. You walled him in. They tried to escape. Oh my gosh. I guess that's the trade you take. You're either sacking your Templars or you're sacking your probes. He thought that the Templars were the ones that should have been sacrificed. And 3 out of the 4 get eliminated. Man, this is completely different than the series of Best versus Rush. Remember in that game, in that particular series, Best just absolutely ran Rush over. I mean, there was no point in the series where it was even close, but this looks completely different. Like, have we even seen a single move with a tank other than the drop that bottom left that got intercepted? This has just been pure harassment with just vultures. Absolutely crazy damage. And in Sharp's main, I think he's at 6 factories. His +1 is done. Oh, he ended up going into double armory as a follow-up. So he's going to actually go for a 2-1 timing. Once again, supplies are still close, but obviously this is really bad news for Protoss for supplies to be this close. Vultures into the 3rd base once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 kills with those 3 vultures. Generally, when you're doing vulture harass, you're looking for a 2-to-1. That's kind of a favorable trade for you as Terran. So for him to get 7 there, pretty much towing the line there. Now, we see that the shuttle got loaded up with some Templars, but I really don't like this game state for Protoss. He doesn't have mass shuttles. He doesn't really have that much Storm. He doesn't have Arbiters. Obviously, there's no carriers. If there's somehow carriers in this game, I would go ballistic. Now, that drop ended up not being repaired, so it's actually very flimsy. I'm kind of surprised that Sharp didn't repair this dropship. Okay, maybe now he's realizing, like, dude, maybe I need to go heal this thing up. But Sharpie's going to be hitting his 2-1 power spike pretty soon, based on how the game has flowed. It's going to be like a 14:30 2-1 timing with Max, I'm assuming. Oh, he's got some more Templars. Are you serious? More Templars dying. Oh my. I don't know if I've ever seen a game go on this long without a single move from a tank and just watching Vultures get this much damage done. And again, he gets into the probe line. I actually think Bess is just going to attack here. I think he's going to tilt off. I think he's tilted, and I think he's just going to try and bulldoze his way in here. He's in an okay position because now he's starting to, you know, at least be ahead in supply. He's got a decent probe count sitting at 60, but okay, he's not actually going to tilt in here. I really thought he was going to. I thought he was just going to go for it. Oh, another scan at that mid-left phase. So this is going to be a tank drop plus Vulture support, I think? Oh, no, it's not. Wait, what? Where's that drop going? In the main? More Templars! And he catches them in the rally! Drop in the main? Didn't even morph the Archon. Dude, I would be so mad if I was Best. I would be so mad. He gets more probe kills. Gets 4 Templars. And look at Protoss consolidating his army outside of Terran's base. But Terran's all set up, man. There's no way this can work. Okay. Okay, he didn't actually go in, but here we go. I was talking about the 14:30 2-1 timing. Well, we're at 15 minutes, so I was pretty close. How many tanks is it? He's built Vultures for so long. Like, this tank count has to be like 20, right? So there's 12. Yeah, this is like a 20 tank count. But that Storm, that's a whiff, man. That is basically as big of a whiff as you can possibly get. Does he have EMB? Oh, please. Please. Okay. A good catch with the Dragoon. Eliminates the EMB threat. But still, like, this army's just pitiful. 200 is so strong. I mean, all the army is. This can't be entire the army, right? There's a lot of stuff best rally point. You need to get this together, man. Terran's on the move. You know that they're going for a killing move. They've done so much harassment with Vultures that they're maxed at this point. Terran's looking to actually just end the game. Okay, that was a good storm. That's a pretty good storm also. But what's Protoss doing with our army? This is still nothing, man. Why is there nothing here? Am I missing something? Yeah, look at how much stuff is sitting there. Okay, I guess he's trying to just eliminate as much as he possibly can with all these storms. Now, that was a huge storm. 5 tanks getting basically sent into the red. He's just trying to maximize the damage with the storm and then send in all the reinforcements. And here we go, maxed out Terran, or maxed out Protoss versus near max Terran. But there's almost no observers. There's a lot of mines. The tanks are heavily damaged though, but he needs to send he's not sending everything. Zealots at the top will eliminate these tanks. There's actually not a lot of mines at the top side. Oh my, these tanks are so heavily damaged. If Protoss can get in here, oh, we clutch focus fire. He focuses down 3 of the Templars, and none of the tanks end up dying. That could have been free kills with any storms. Zealot's finally getting in here with some damage, but look at the supply shoot down for Best, and that means Sharpie's gonna take game 1. Absolutely insane harassment with the Vultures. Really good storms as a follow-up from Best, despite losing, 10 Templars. But in the end, that focus fire at the very end Not that it saved the game for Sharp, because behind it he was still in a fantastic position, but I think if the storms land, those 10 or 12 tanks in the center could have died and could have actually brought Best back into the game. So well done from Sharp there with the clutch focus fire. That's going to put him up 1-0 into the series. It's going to go into Best map pick now, which is going to be Apocalypse. No shocker there. Let's see if Best can bring it back to 1-1. He's got to find an answer to the Vultures, man. They did insane damage. Okay, in the bottom left, we do have our red Protoss. It is Best. And in the bottom right, we do have Sharp. So immediately standing out to me are, of course, the spawn positions. As a Terran, in this particular scenario, I hate it because it feels to me like it's just direct access with the shuttles into your main. You've just got a clear-cut path directly in. And Apocalypse is one of those maps similar to Tau Cross, and the mains are just massively huge. Like, there's just so much terrain you can drop from. So many angles that you can come in at. Now, I will say this. Best pulling out the DT drop in game 1. Not that I don't think he can do it 2 games in a row, but DT drop is just such a committed type of tech path that I think the likelihood of him going for DT drop again is pretty low. I do think Reaver drop is you know, highly likely though, but if I was Sharp here, I would eliminate DT drop in this game. And because of that, I would probably skimp out on detection for a long time. Now look at this from Best. He's going to get lucky here and find Sharp with the first scout. He's going to find him so fast. Get that gas, man. Oh, he canceled to get the 10 gas off. Okay. I see you, Sharp. I actually don't really like canceling your SCV to get the 10 gas, but I can understand why, because Terran is just so down in the dumps when their build is just thrown off like this. You're obligated to go into gasless, but you've got this probe in your base that just harasses you nonstop. Oftentimes the probe can even kill an SCV. So you're doing a gasless with an SCV not mining for this long, potentially 2 SCVs not mining for this long. So it's like, well, am I just screwed? But you feel screwed if you go into the 10 gas also, because your econ's also shot there. Really good harassment from this probe so far, getting it down to about half health, not able to actually finish him off though. Oh, the moving shot with SCB. Now remember last game we had a Zealot be sent across the map. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case this time around. And I want to see the factory timing for Sharp. He's ended up building 2 Marines before his factory. It's going to be a 240 factory, I think, for how long the SCV was not mining. I think this was actually a pretty solid factory timing. And also you got to consider that this was a pylon scout. So it's not like Protoss's tech is going to be fast either. So in the end, I'm going to say that this was pretty much an even trade. But what's about to not be an even trade is this probe versus SCV battle. I think this SCV is not long for this world. You can see that the red dot is trailing him. Oh, actually managed to get away. That's not something you see often at the pro level. Oftentimes you just see the pros end up eliminating that SCV. Oh, but it's actually the probe that gets eliminated. Okay. Gonna have to send out a second SCV though to get some intel though. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are those SCVs doing? 2 idle SCVs in the main. Does he not know about him? Okay, he just didn't know about him. I thought we were going to have a 2-fact. And I was about to throw a penalty flag on the field because 2-fact, that is an illegal move at the pro level. I can't even tell you the last time I saw 2-factory work. I have to go load up some 2001 VODs. Boxer and Jojo, the Gundam, the Marine. Check out some VODs from that era to actually see a 2-factory work. But we've got an interesting move out. Despite not scouting, he's still going to push with 4 Marines, 1 Vulture. Now, by the way, that goon missed somehow. I don't even know how that happened. SCV actually gets in and sees the Nexus, sees one gate, doesn't see a tech path, and he also saw the second goon come out. That building, I don't think he got vision of that building. But critically, these goons didn't actually see the Marines move out. So the goon could actually just move out into death if he goes up onto this high ground. For some reason, he's gone off to this right side and will avoid that. Oh, what am I watching? No scout, triple command center. Okay. You know, we've seen stuff like this work when the Protoss opens 12 Nexus, but this is not a 12 Nexus. And he's got in with the SCV and he saw that it's not a 12 Nexus. This is ballsy. Okay, vultures. How do they get in? How do they get in? Okay, luckily there's a Dragoon that pops out. Okay, these are gonna be... I was gonna say just be taken down immediately, but the goons, what are they doing? They're bugging out and they don't go the wrong way. He's losing 2 probes. Remember, we're looking for 2 to 1. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so he pretty much got the optimal amount right there. I remember last game, Sharp kept back the Dragoons for so long with just vultures that maybe he's thinking he can have the same thing happen this time, where he can just keep the goons back forever with just mines and vultures and potential, you know, backstab maneuvers, and allow him to get his third base up and running. So far, that has been the case. Getting those 5 probe kills now allows him to shoot up in the worker count. But this is 3-gate observer. Isn't this just a hard counter? It's 1 factory with a 2nd factory just started. But I guess probably Best is traumatized from last game, thinking like, well, if I send my observer across the map, you know, I'm not going to have an observer in my main. I'm going to die to drops. He's probably going to be passive with this. And so far, well, to be fair, so far it looks like he's actually attacking. Yeah, he's clearing out the mines. Well, to me this looks like this is going to be a fast game. I don't see how you stop this. Doesn't he have 1 tank, 4 Marines, and like 2 vultures? Like, isn't that the entirety of the army? The observer, he's going to... No way. No way he missed it. A free tank though. But still, this is 7 goons, man. They're gonna basically one-shot the tanks. Okay, that gets eliminated. But he doesn't spot the command center. Oh my goodness. It's so close to being spotted, but I don't think he's gonna find it. The turret died. Bunker. Okay, it's gonna be repaired. You know, of course I have full vision, right? But at the same time, I think Best should be kind of, you know, kind of confused. Like, why did this guy not have that many tanks? I guess he did pick off 1. You know, there's no starport, there's no drop in my main. Why was the unit count so low? And this bunker is very far forward. This is kind of a weirdly placed bunker, and he misses the command center. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. If he finds that command center, I still think Sharp is okay because he can save it, he can lift it and save all of his SCVs. But this is just painful to watch. The observer not spotting it. Also just now coming into... He didn't even go into the main. Did he not go into the main? So it's not like he gets into the main and sees like, okay, this guy doesn't have a starport. He only has 4 factories. You know, why is the factory count so low? Why is the armory late? Why is the starport late? He doesn't see anything. I don't think he actually saw anything, so he doesn't get anything, any intel to tip him off that there's something weird going on. Now, like I was saying at the beginning of the cast, the likelihood of it being a DT drop, very, very low. And what did I say? Reaver drop going to be probably very, very likely, and that's exactly what we see here. Mine set up in the main, turret set up in good positions. Okay, I was about to say, dude, you saw the mine, but he unloads a zealot there to get rid of that one. But 55 workers to 53. Terran should be feeling amazing that this has gone unspotted. I still can't believe it. I guess, actually, sometimes you just need to hide a base in plain sight, right? Maybe the plain sight bases are the hardest ones to actually scout. But I will say this. Best hasn't scouted any of the rest of the map, so any base at any position would have been a good base to take. Now, Best is probably confused, like, okay, no, he never actually got in with the Observer, so he doesn't know that the command center is already done. He's probably thinking that the command center just now started, but we know that it's done. Now, when this Reaver gets in here, he's probably going to be confused, like, wait a minute, this is already set up? How'd that happen? And if he clicked those mineral patches and saw how long they had been mined, he'll know that he is not in a great predicament right now. Supplies are very close, just like they were in the previous game. 6 factory, gonna probably be soon 7 or 8. Oh wow, see you later, Dragoons. Those 2 tanks got off some really nice damage. Yeah, I was just about to say this. I'd like to get a look in the main to see what our tech is, and the answer is it's gonna be shuttles with Templars. Once again, no Stargate, no Arbiter. Also notice that there's no double Robo. Oh, actually, he's building a second Robo. I take that back. So, double Robo. Now, this is something that we're seeing more and more these days. Of course, you know, last year, we saw players like Mini first start trying it out. We saw a lot of just non-stop drops into the main. Okay, what's this drop doing? Is it going to get in? Oh, it gets killed, and wasn't the shuttle with the double Reaver? That's a huge loss. Now going back, okay, Vultures, they're gonna get taken out. So going back to what I was saying with the double Robo, we saw it last year where players were just relentlessly bombing the main. And you know, if you've listened to a lot of my casts, whether it's on StarCast or BSL or ASL, I'm not really a big fan of the double Robo play. However, in recent months, weeks, it has changed from bombing the main to what Protoss players do now is they avoid the army, and instead they go like 4, 5, 6 shuttle drops into your expansions, and they just bomb your econ over and over and over. Now that type of shuttle play, it is incredibly hard to deal with, because if they unload anything, Zealot's going to be triggering mines, Templar's going to be storming mineral lines. So in that particular type of style or type of usage of the shuttles, I love it. But where do you bomb on this map? The bases are tucked away so tightly. Like, look how many turrets are in the main. You're not bombing there. Natural's pretty hard to get to also in the third base at the very corner of the map. So I don't know how effective this double Robo play is going to be. Now Terran, I think with that floating building at bottom middle, sees the base at bottom right. So Terran's probably planning to just go to bottom right and just knock that out. I don't feel like that's a base that can really be easily defended as Protoss. So I think as soon as Protoss sees Terran moving over there, needs to just transfer his probes back to mid-left and just save as many as possible. Because I really don't think you're going to be able to save that base. We've got triple shuttle. There's the Zealots loaded up, of course. I'm expecting one of those shuttles to have Templars in there. And he's building more cannons there, so maybe he will attempt to save it. Still no Stargate. This is what you do when you play the double Robo style, is it's just mass gates, no tech except for the Templars. Heavy upgrades with the forges. Well, Protoss is actually going to fight for this? I guess it is kind of a narrow corridor. Storm could be really strong here. But I don't remember seeing any Templars loaded up in those shuttles. 5 Goliath's going to try and shield those shuttles away. Meanwhile, this is not the entire army of Terran. Yeah, it's just Vultures right now. Observer's gonna get picked off. Shuttle, that shuttle must have Templars in it. There's no way that it could be anything else. And here we go, tanks are on the move. Now, this could get scary because there's a lot of mines here. And everything's just standing on top of the mines. Oh, that was a really good storm. Eliminates a lot of vultures, gets some good damage there. This command center, I think, could get canceled. Storm, yeah, that's all you can do here. Is you just have to storm non-stop. That's a big clump of tanks right there. I think Protoss needs to just go for this. There's really not a lot here. Maybe losing the observer, he of course doesn't know that there's not a lot here. But he could definitely shut it down. But speaking of shutting it down, he's shutting down top right, so that's a really nice pick off. That command center might actually die, by the way. More storms going off. But this is kind of what I was talking about. Is this attack is just, even with such a tiny army, it's so strong. Doesn't end up saving any of the Protoss, so he's going to lose everything. But instead, Protoss is just going to loop around. Like I said, avoid the army, avoid the army, avoid the army, and go for a counterattack. But I don't see any detection for Protoss. Where's the observers? There's a lot of mines set up. He could, if he eats these mines, this is going to be really bad news for him. Needs an observer. Okay, he has one. Vultures have moved over towards the left side. Somehow avoids the Protoss army. Laying some more mines to the top. Okay. Observer plus Goon's going to shut this down. But that bottom right base got blown up. And as expected, Best lost every single probe there. So now he's down to 48 probes. That's a low probe count even for Best. He definitely needs to build up that probe count. But Terran's maxed out once again. Huge bank, by the way, 3k, 1.5k. So even if he loses his army, he's going to have a huge remax. And he'll be able to remax on a lot of tanks and vessels. The mines! The mines! Oh, it hurts. That's so many zealots to have lost. And he lost 5 more probes. That's going to put him at just 43. Terran is sitting really nicely on 67. By the way, there's a drop at top middle, I guess. And he gets into the probe line. I didn't see a drop ship, so I don't even know if it was a drop or not. But massive damage. And look at how hurt these zealots are. They're all... He could A move. He could A move. Wow, those upgrades are really low, though. 2-1 should be coming pretty soon, though, right? Like, they have to be coming pretty soon. 38 workers for Best. Now, this does give him, obviously, one massive attack, where he's going to have a huge army. He's going to have a ton of firepower. And if Terran is sitting in a position like this on top of mines, he could actually overwhelmingly win the battle. But this, look at this tank count, man. What is it like? It's even more than last game. It's like 24 tanks. 2-1 is kicked in. This is the perfect move from Sharp. Really good attack right here. Focuses down a couple of Templars. Storms, he did eat a few of them, but look at how fast he's creeping across this. Okay, Best's gonna go for it. It all comes down to the shuttle bombs. Can the shuttles find connections onto the tanks? Get some big mine hits? The answer is that's a good storm. Oh, he blew up every single Templar! Look at that supply. From max versus max to 150 to 110. That is painful. And this series, you know, I'll say it, because of how easily Best just demolished Royal and Rush, I actually thought that this was going to be a closer series than it was. But so far, Sharp is playing out of his mind. There has been no answer to the Vultures. Absolutely none. They're getting ridiculous damage in the early game, mid game, late game. They're coming at angles that I don't even see. Like, I still don't know how those Vultures got in the top middle. How'd they get there? And if I can't see them with full vision, you know Best can't see them. Now, maybe Sharp overextended here with this move. There's no support for the tanks. This is finally going to be a good trade for Protoss, but he's still going to lose his entire army. Now, something to point out is Sharp, he does have a bank, but he's just now getting his 4th base. Remember, this was a Terran that immediately double expanded. His main's going to be mined out. Nat going to be mined out. 3rd base going to be mined out, all very quickly. So if Sharp doesn't close out this game, Best can make a comeback. But I think with the high ground advantage, with so many Vultures, Tanks, and Goliaths here, and the fact that the comp is basically Zealot Storm, I don't think that Best is going to be able to fend this off. However, those Storms were pretty good. He kills a command center at top right, by the way. It died. Okay, but luckily for Sharp, he's built another command center at bottom right, so he's going to have that base coming up. But this base is dead. All of these probes are going to die. Another shuttle bomb. The shuttle doesn't get taken out. Finally gets taken out. Takes out some tanks in the process. Long distance mining. Okay, actually, there's no command center there. That's just long distance mining. And look at Sharp's money. He's almost broke at this point. But the question is can Best stall the game out long enough where Sharp will actually be completely mined out? I don't know if he can do that. This is such a rock solid position right here outside of the natural. Okay, incoming flank. A lot of Dragoons in the back, but they're not synced up well. They're clearing out mines while the main attack on the bottom side is going down. We saw D-Matrix save that tank for a long time. Actually, really good storms. Terran's army, where is it? I'm looking at like a 20-30 supply lead for Terran, but then I look at the actual battle, and there's nothing actually here. What is going on? Is he actually going to lose his base? Terran is in panic mode now, I think. Realizes like, hey, I'm letting this game slip away. These Zealots are taking a lot of damage, but at the same time, the Archon is killing so many probes, so many SCVs. I just hear worker after worker after worker dying. A really good storm takes down a lot of Vultures. A lot of tanks also. Now supplies are really close, 107 to 97. He needs to run. Not going to be able to save these Dragoons. That Zealot is doing work. That Nexus ended up being saved. Don't even know how that happened. And now it's 41 workers to 44. Terran is mined out in his 3 bases, like I said. 1 base mining now. Protoss still has 2 bases. Dude, I mean, he technically has 3 bases because he's starting to rebuild that probe count at bottom right. Protoss is almost up in supply now. Dude, Sharp, okay, it looks like he's finally using his whole army. But once again, like he's in a position where he's got to be careful. There's a mine right there. Those tanks are going to die. Storm? Is this really the entirety of the army? Okay, there we go. I'm like, dude, you're at 100. How can we only have 4 tanks? Now everything's coming in here, and with just Zealots are not going to cut it. He needs Dragoons here. Wow, really good Viper right there to save every single tank. They are still heavily damaged, though. Is Terran 3-2 upgrades? I know they're at least 2-2. Oh, the one Goliath. Oh, we got rid of that shuttle. And maybe, yep, there it is. GG comes out from Best. That was an unbelievable comeback in the last few minutes of the game. I thought that actually Sharp had thrown it. I thought he was actually going to be mined out. But that means that we've got Sharp 2-0 in the series. And now we're going to go into his map pick. Yeah, and if I remember correctly, the next map is Citadel. And you guys all know my thoughts on Citadel. I think this is easily the best Terran versus Protoss map in the map pool. As long as you can avoid getting to mega late game where they get carriers. I think I'm going to favor Sharp on this map. So let's get into game 3. Okay, in the bottom left, he's down 2-0. Needs to get a win here on Citadel. It is Best. And meanwhile, in the bottom right, is there no answer to the Vulture? Is that just a fact? It's Sharp. This guy is just playing out of his mind. Absolutely insane harassment. Crazy effective trades with his attacks. Almost botched it at the end, but up until that point was really crushing it. I don't know what you do if you're Best here. Like, Is he building too many? Okay, maybe this is the answer. Is maybe we need to set the tone of the game. You know, get into this guy's in this guy's face in the initial stages of the game. You know, make him be the one microing instead of us microing versus the vultures. So this is going to be a forward gate. Hopefully Best finds him first at bottom right. Because if you can find him first with a forward gate and, you know, disrupt some of the initial mining, that's going to be painful. And there we go. It is going to be a first scout. And Sharp, is this gasless? No. Okay, not gasless. It is going to be a Rax right above the refinery. There's a gap, or the geyser. There is a gap between the Rax and the geyser. And the only reason I mention this is for those of you out there that love your walls like I do. If you put the Rax right up against the geyser and then a depot on the right side, put the Marine between the Rax and the depot right up against the geyser, Zealot can't hit you. Cannot hit you. But the fact that it is not up against the wall means that Sharpie is going to have to micro that Marine in and out of there. Probe has already done really good damage so far. Look at how much lost mining time has already happened. He pulled 2 SCVs off. Now just 1, but still Probe racking up a lot of damage. Forcing out a repair. I think this was also an 11 cast, so the Econ once again is... that might die. That might actually die. Either way, it's at 13 health. One-shottable by the Zealot. Probe wants him. He drilled through. Not going to find him, though. Probe still... Wow, he doesn't even take a shot from the Marine. So he's going to get out basically with full health. Because it's just going to regen. And Zealot, he's here, man. Okay, 1 shot. 1 more Probe shot plus 2 Zealot hits. Means he's going to get a kill on there. Oh, Marine, where are you going? No. He's trying to play tag. Okay, that SCV's dead. That Marine, really good micro from Sharp so far, limiting the damage. He has 2 damaged Marines, but none of them have died so far. Now 1 falls. Second Zealot is already here, though. Wow, that was fast. Wow, this was fast. And that is another damaged SCV. It's going to get 3-shotted by the Zealot. Does it complete the factory? The answer is no. Okay, good micro. Good micro. Okay, now the Vulture is on the way. But already the damage is done. Wow, 3 Zealots. Lots of pressure here. That SCV is going to fall. Now, racking up a ton of damage. That Marine is not damaged, or that's the first shot, so he's only... Oh, that guy got hit in the back. Is this over? Okay, it's not over, but this is a lot of damage. If that was another goon, and if that was a goon instead of a 3rd Zealot, I think that he could have ended the game with this. Zealot, goon, would have been ridiculous damage. Instead, he hasn't shown this 3rd Zealot. He's hidden it. No Nexus just yet, though. Range is on the way. Okay, Sharp knows that something is awry here. Builds additional Marines. He is now going to see the bad news. Oh, there's a Zealot here. That Marine's dead. Okay, that Zealot died really fast. Wow. Marine Vulture DPS crazy high. Overall, pretty good hold from Sharp. The fact that he's recovered his work account is a little surprising to me. He's getting away with not having to build a bunker either. If he can get rid of this Dragoon, that'd be fantastic, but not going to commit there. He desperately wants it. If he can get rid of that Goon, I think he can avoid building a bunker. But the fact that he's not able to do so means that the Dragoons could micro to their heart's content and potentially win an extended battle. That Vulture's gone. Mine. Okay. Takes a hit, but he gets rid of the Vulture. So in the end, I would say that was a worthwhile trade. That was a missed connection. And it looks like with the mine set up, I think Protoss is just going to probably accept that we're going to be playing a normal game from here. Now that SCV was set up in like a star, not really in a starport position. Yeah, I think if it was going to be a starport, it should have been farther down the bottom left. But I thought it was going to be like a second factory or something. But in the end, it's neither. Instead, Sharp is going to go into his armory. I think he thinks that he's taken so much damage that unless he was going to go starport, which clearly he isn't, the only way back into this game is to just, rely heavily on your upgrades. As we all know, Citadel is one of the maps that's the easiest to get a third and fourth base. So he's probably thinking, even if I get my third and fourth base late, at least I'm probably going to be able to get both of them. And then I'll have the powerful upgrades to fall back on. So I think this is a wise decision. Now, meanwhile, Best taking his mid-left base, so he's going into a quick third base. I didn't actually catch the tech in his main. I'm thinking it was Observer as opposed to, DT drop again, but I could be wrong. And Vulture's going to see the bad news that this base is already taken. Now, something to point out that this third base is pretty far away. And also, he's walled himself in with pylons. Now, you're playing against a guy who clearly likes to go drops, and he exploited the hell out of you in game 1 with drops. So I'm actually thinking that simply because of this base being taken at mid-left, which has a gas, I think we're going to see a really heavy tech-based play from Best here, whether it's Arbiter or Carriers. I really do not think that it's going to be Storm this time. Otherwise, why not just take the mineral only? It's going to be easier to defend. It's not, it's not exploitable by drops. So I really do think that Best has already tipped his hand that this is going to be heavy tech. Now this is... okay, it's only 7 Dragoons. I thought it was a little bit more than that, but... not the case. Vulture sharking around for some probe kills, not able to find any. Had to get an escort of the probes to mid-left, and there we go. Hidden starport at top right. Now, I've seen players like Rush do this, and they hide the starport so that they can hide the science facility, so that the Protoss doesn't know whether this is 2-1, or fast 3-2, or if this is going to be like a 5-fact timing. However, Protoss has already spotted the armory. I think if Sharp is really trying to disguise this, he can't show the second army at this point, because the first one's already been spotted. Or maybe I could be wrong. Maybe this is just for drops. But this really does look like he's going to hide the science facility up there. There's the 5th factory. So far from Protoss' perspective, this really does look like it's just going to be a 5-factory expansion build. But, so I think I saw an add-on at top right. Yep, add-on. Okay, so actually it's not going to be for the hidden science facility. It's just going to be for drops. And I think this was an expected move. And if we look at, even though we can only see it on the minimap, I think there's a cannon at mid-left. If you can get a second cannon up there, that should shut down the drops. But, oh, actually it's no cannon because Protoss doesn't see a starport, so how else can you get in? If he gets Vulture dropped in here, this could definitely bring him back into the game. Now, shocking to me is there's more gateways being put down. The mid-left gas was never taken. So maybe I'm wrong here with it being a heavy tech. Because it doesn't really seem like Best is getting really any benefit from taking this mid-left base as opposed to just taking the mineral only. Hey, I guess the mineral only has 6 patches versus 7, so, that is obviously a difference maker, but it does leave you open to drops. And we've got Vultures out on the field. Apparently, Cruiser has seen enough of this game. He's out of there. He didn't like what he saw from Protoss' side. He's just out. And Protoss, I don't know what Protoss is doing. This is weird. Like, just the way he has his units positioned. Like, if this was a foreigner game, I wouldn't be as surprised. But, like, there's no shuttle there. There's not an overwhelming amount of Dragoons. Okay, there's the shuttle. There we go. It's like, there's no way he just has slow zealots there by themselves. But shuttle's over at the over on the left side. Reavers making sure nothing gets in. But Vultures We got the vulture drop coming pretty soon, man. He's gonna go on the outskirts of the map and get into that mineral line. I still don't think there's a cannon. Okay, the pylon spotted it, but did Protoss spot it? Oh, look at the timing! Perfect timing from Best. How did he know? Immediately killed off. There we go. Finally gets some successful defense versus a drop. And that drop, not gonna get taken out. But overall, that's all he needed to do, was just make sure he didn't lose any probes. Don't allow this Terran to get back into this game. And that's exactly what he's done. And now that he's gone mass gates, if we look at the supply, there could definitely be a scenario where he can just overrun Terran. If Terran makes a move towards his third base, just mass shuttle bomb this guy. The Reaver's still holding the line there. 40 supply lead for Protoss. Mine's getting cleared out. Probes getting transferred over there. And Terran is now going to try and take mid-right, but this is a really, really late base. Or at least I think he's going to take mid-right. I guess I technically didn't see a command center built anywhere. Okay, there we go. Just at the outskirts of our screen. We see that it's about to be finished. But Protoss is on the move. Speed is kicked in. Almost maxed. Oh, no. No. Move command. Loses 3 Dragoons. No! He needs another shot. You know, actually, Sharp's nickname is Ma Wong, which is short for Spider Mine King. I will say that definitely the person that's not the Spider Mine King is best. It's like every game I see him lose so much stuff to Spider Mines, man. I was like, you don't know how happy I was to see him on Apocalypse actually have speed on his observer to make sure that his observer was always, you know, up to speed with his Zealots and Dragoons. But to watch those 4 Dragoons just die, it just feels so Best-esque to lose those like that. Well, here we go. Protoss is setting up like he just wants to end this game. He's at max. He's got a shuttle. Remember, he's still got his 2 Reavers alive. He's cleared out a lot of the mines on... Okay, well, he's coming in with only half of his army right now. That is a lot of mines. And there's no... It's just a small choke. Why this angle? Yeah, back off, man. Look, he lost 40 supply and Terran lost 10. I thought he was actually going to come through the top side and the left side at the same time. You know, hit from like a double-pronged attack, but... just coming through the top side, that was not it. But these Reavers are still going to be a nuisance to deal with. Going to prevent the SCV transfer, at least for now. I saw Terran has the 1-1 power spike. So no 2-1 anytime soon. Okay. Got rid of that Reaver. And what's denying this? Okay, here we go. One more time. Reaver takes down that tank. Uh-oh. Dragoon's getting into the mid-right base. Could it actually take down this command center? No, I don't think so. It's just such a tiny corridor. Okay, actually he does commit in here. I'm a little surprised that he does actually go in with the Dragoons. Okay, he got Terran to come out on top of some mines, trade some Zealots for some tanks. Not the greatest, but not the worst trade there. Protoss is up, you know, 2 bases, so he can afford to make trades like this. Okay, there we go. Mass storm coming. That's what I want to see. This Reaper and 5 Dragoons doing such a good job to just keep everything back for so long. Big shot right there. Goodbye. Oh, speaking of big shots, 4 Dragoons die immediately. But this Reaver is just so powerful. Finally, the Goliath's going to get rid of the shuttle. Zealot's coming in once again. Zealot's going to run in here and clean up all these Vultures and Goliaths. And at this point, even though the game's not going to end here, Best has pretty much done what he needs to do, because just like on the Apocalypse game, Sharp's going to be mined out in just a second. His main's basically mined out. His natural should be mining out pretty soon. And Best is still sitting pretty on 4 bases. He does need to do something about whatever that is at top left. I'm imagining it's a Vulture. Okay, he's going to get rid of that Templar, but I'd like to see Best take another base at top left, get that 5th base up and running. There's the quintuple shuttle bomb. Let's go, man. Right into the 3rd base, right in there. Don't even worry about these tanks on the low ground. Just get into that 3rd base. Zealot bomb, Zealot bomb. Where's the Templar bomb? Okay, there we go. Storm. Well, that actually didn't go as well as I anticipated it to. I think Terran pretty much minimized the losses there. And he will get his 3rd base up and running, but only 44 workers for him. I guess on this base count, it's okay. He does have his 2-2 power spike completed. 6 shuttles. All right, let's see if Best can do what I was talking about on Apocalypse. This is the type of play that I find so hard to deal with. This is going to be a fresh base with a lot of SCVs transferred. There's only one Goliath. We're going to see a huge mine hits. Oh, mine tanks. Zealots just unload immediately on top of the tank. Storm! There we go, Storm. This has got to be GG, right? All the tanks are going to die. Oh, mine drag. Doesn't actually get the connection. Oh, can he get the connection? Blow. Oh, big shot right there. Goodbye, tanks. And now Terran's sub 100 supply. This has got to be it. There's basically no tanks remaining. No econ for him. And Best should tie up the score. Or not tie up, but bring it back 2-1. So we've got a series on our hand. It was really looking like it was going to be sharp day to day. Especially if he had won here. If he went up 3-0, that would be a tall order. Tall task. Even with Troy in the map pool, that would be a tall task. But Sharp not going to give up just yet. He did lose his command center also in that battle. So it's not like he can even, you know, take it once again. You have to rebuild that CC. 180 to 104. I mean, really not much to say here. Terran's just down in the dumps. Tank count is pitiful. Upgrades are good, but really no econ at all for Terran. Now, +3 is going to be completing in about a minute or so, but I don't think it matters at this point. Protoss's comp is just too big. Terran has to send all their defense to mid-right because that's, you know, basically the only base that is mining. So in this particular scenario, I would love all the shuttles to go into the main. This is also, you know, you also have that tiny ramp from your natural to your main, so you can just storm it to death. So I think the winning move here is either shuttle bomb mid-right or shuttle bomb the main. Only 2 Goliaths here. There's a lot of mines. But mines aren't going to save you. How do I know? I know from experience facing this exact type of move. Let's see here. Does this end the game? 8 shuttles in a dream. The Goliaths moved out of position. Zealots unload. Storm. And he's going to get basically everything. And this is why the shuttle play is so hard in the expansions. Even though he had a lot of mines there. Loses everything. Of course, Protoss lost a lot also. I mean, 8 shuttles is no joke, but wipes out pretty much everything on that move. And now, Terran is basically not mining at all. Long distance mining, floating his main command center towards the 3rd base. I guess it was actually a big loss for Protoss because he's still just at 150, but he can make trades like this, whereas Terran cannot make trades like that. Oh, another huge shot. Oh, where'd that mine come from? More shuttles being loaded up. Terran is down 20 workers, down 60 supply, so he's actually only down 40 in army value. Tank count is relatively decent now. I will say that. He does have his +3 power spike also. And this is a close base for Terran. Like, he can definitely move down here and maybe knock down bottom middle. Protoss is mined out in the main and natural. Third base should be mined out pretty soon. So actually, if Terran can knock down bottom middle somehow, Protoss would be relegated to just having top left, which would be 2 base versus 2 base. Terran has a decent gas bank, 1500 gas, so he can definitely build up his tank count for a long time. But can he hold a max Protoss army is the question. I'm going to say it's unlikely. Okay, well, when you get mine connections like that, maybe you can. Storm on the SCV line. These mines are doing so much damage, but it's still almost a doubling of supply. More SCVs dying. Down to 30 workers at this point. Really good storms. Somehow that one tank's going to live. I don't know how that happened. Somehow manages to actually survive, but Sharpie's going to tap out, and that means Best will take the game. And we've got a series on our hands, so we're going to be going into Best map pick now, which will be Blitz. And I feel like I remember somebody on Team Liquid saying like Blitz has a 100% win rate PvT. That feels extreme to me. It can't possibly be a 100% win rate because I'm pretty sure I saw Sharp take down Mini on there. But I can tell you it feels like a 100% win rate as a Terran player. This map is so difficult for TVP. But Sharp is very good with drops, and you know. Blitz has that mid-right base, so maybe he can use drops to his advantage and somehow get that base and take it in the mid or late game. Let's get into game 4. Okay, so in the top right, falling on Citadel, we do have Sharp. And in the bottom right, up to no good, it is Best. Now, I'm actually realizing that I think almost every time we've seen Citadel, I've talked about how good it is for Terran, just in general versus Protoss. And I don't actually remember seeing a Terran win there. Maybe it's just me, my own experience on ladder, having good success there, but maybe it doesn't translate to victories at the pro level. But just in theory, it feels like it's a good map. Now this probe, I think it's Proxy in the main. Oh, this is disgusting. And Sharp has no idea that this is in his main. The way the map is laid out, it's like 1 pixel off from actually having vision of units coming into your main. And so Sharp is going to scout, and he's going to scout for the common position, which is the high ground, probably mid-left. Yep, exactly, he's going to mid-left, and he's not going to scout his main because this is just such an uncommon thing to do. I think if this was Mini, he may scout for it. Okay, please scout the bottom right. Please scout bottom right. He doesn't. No. And because he scouted so fast, this Rax is even late. This was a 130 Rax. You can get it as fast as basically 123. So like a 7-second difference. That's a huge deal. That's half of a Marine. And it's a 2-gate. So this game is not going to last long. Either Sharp has the hold of the century, or Best just wins in like 2 minutes from now. This was also, I think, an 11 racks and 11 gas. So this is mega low econ. Absolutely very, very low econ. He needs to pull off of gas and build a bunker right now. But of course he's not going to do that. Sharp is going to scout across the map. And unfortunately for him, when he scouts this, the Zealot's already out. Yep, here we go. Hello. And Sharp just spent his gas on a factory. He needs to cancel that. He needs a bunker. He has no money. Look at his money. Okay, he just now has 100. And he has no SimCity. There's no Depot SimCity. It's a 2-gate. This game's over. Absolutely over. This is impossible to hold. Now he builds a bunker, but that SCV is already very low. Goodbye, Marine. I don't think he has another Marine, right? Yeah, it just now pops out. Oh, I thought he actually caught that Zealot, but he did not. Now, all we can hope for is that SCV in the probe line at bottom right needs to kill every worker. Can he kill every worker? Well, I can tell you who is killing every worker. It's these Zealots. That bunker might actually complete, but it doesn't matter. It's 4 Zealots, man. They don't care about 1 Marine. Oh, this is painful. Well, we went from 2-0 to 2-2 very quickly. Best ends that game in a heartbeat. And this is one of the reasons why Blitz is so hard for Terran. You saw Sharp scout 3 different spots for the proxy, and it ended up being in the 4th one. That's just how it goes on Blitz sometimes. But Sharp can find some solace knowing that his map pick is going to be up next, which is going to be Retro, and he always plays really well here. So let's get into Game 5. Okay, in the top left, bringing it back to 2-2, we've got Best. And in the top right, we do have Sharp. Now, I feel like we saw this exact scenario. We saw Sharp at top right. Can't remember who it was at top left in ASL, but Sharp had a really solid 5-fact timing, and it was unstoppable. As I've mentioned numerous times, the reason why these spawns are so good for Terran is they can use top middle as a stepping stone, obviously to push the natural, but at the same time they can just expand there. Like, they can just expand in that direction. So they have pushing power, they have a third base, and they can just, you know, use that as defense. And also, if you defend there, it defends shuttles and arbiters. So it's just it's a really good spawn position for Terran. Now, we've seen Sharp go for low eco gas builds every single game so far. I think every single game has been 11 gas except for the gas steal on Apocalypse. I think at this point, we need a gasless. We need a 12 gas. We need something to mix it up, because he hasn't mixed it up at all, whereas Best, he has, right? We've seen the forward gate. We've seen Zealot Goon on Radion. We saw proxy gates. We haven't seen a mix-up in the tech other than the DT drop, but he's consistently mixed up his openers. Instead, we're going to have racks on high ground. I didn't actually catch the gas timing for Sharp as I was talking, but hopefully that this is not an 11 gas, just simply so that we can have a mix-up here. But in the main of Protoss, we did have just gate gas. I got my eyes on the supply to see if he's going to actually build a Zealot here. Probe once again doing really good damage. And I will say, Best has had some luck on his side. Other than game 1, which was obviously a disaster for him with all the vulture harassment, he's gotten very lucky with his scout patterns, finding Terran first every single time. Seeing that it is, a factory opener right from the get-go is always very nice. But he will be pushed back. But because this is, as I've stated, pro level, it's not like you're going to be running into a 1-base 2-fact play. So being pushed out of the base at this point is fine. Terran's literally never 2-fact, unless you're playing Bishop. If you're playing Bishop, then not only do you have to worry about a 2-fact, you got to be worried about potentially it being proxied or there being a 3rd factory. But this is not Bishop, so you can just go 1 gate, expand. Terran's most likely just going to expand themselves. I think actually Best got range here. His gas count is kind of lowish. I didn't see a big building go up in his main for like Citadel or Robo. And that is the case. It is going to be range. And we got the Nexus coming up. First Dragoon on the move. Was this straight add-on for... Okay. So this is actually a little bit different. Straight add-on for Terran. 4 Marines, okay. We saw 4 Marines on Radeon, so I don't think that this is going to tip him off that this is actually going to be an FD. It's going to be Marines plus tank. At least I think it's going to be Marines plus tank. But a lot of times, just seeing 4 Marines lets you know as Protoss that, hey, a push is coming. Or maybe it's not an FD. He's actually got enough money for a command center. Maybe this is actually a Vulture? And you're just straight mines? I don't think so, though. Yeah, it's a tank. Okay, here we go. 1 tank. 4 Marines. Maybe he's trying to get best to overbuild Dragoons, and he's not going to actually commit here. Just, you know, say like, hey, you're not able to just expand off of 2 Dragoons. You got to respect that I could be pushing. So, hey, you better panic build, you know, a 3rd and 4th goon, but actually doesn't move out with the tank. This is a interesting move. He really just built the tank and didn't move out. I'm very surprised. I guess with it being retro, you know, it is hard to push up into top middle. Yeah, the Dragoons could just hold the line there forever. So I think this is fine. Oh, DT drop again. Okay, once more. Another DT drop, and this will be perfect because of how late I think the eBay is going to be. He ended up going tank into 2nd factory. There's no eBay just yet. There's no academy because people don't go academies unless they go for gasless. This may be a quick game. This may be another game where a DT drop just finds the perfect moment to strike. Oh, here we go. 2 tanks, 4 Marines. I think it's 2 Vultures. There's only 3 Dragoons. He needs at least 1 more Dragoon. There we go, 4 Dragoons. Okay, the reason you need at least 4 Dragoons is because they 1-shot Marines, they're going to 2-shot tanks, and they're also going to 2-shot Vultures. With 3, you're basically 2-shotting Marines, which is really bad. Still 2-shotting Vultures, but you're not killing tanks. And this is going to be Sharp's opportunity. He saw that the goon count is low. He thinks that Bess is just preparing for drops. Wow, he's going to lose his whole army. He may not even use this DT to help out. Oh, he's going to show the DT. Oh, the drag. I thought he was going to blow up everything, but either way, Sharp's going to lose everything. However, oh, can he get in? Really good clutch defense right there, saying, no, sir, you're not getting in. But what this has done, at least now there's only going to be 1 DT dropped off into the main. Look at that. Yeah, the eBay's not even done. If he can get a cancel here, cancel. Oh, it's not even close. It's only 3/4 done. But like I said, this is only 1 DT. If this is 2 DTs, I think the game is completely over. Oh, he got rid of the DT. And there's no 2nd DT, so that means that actually the eBay is going to complete and this game's going to go on. So Sharp doesn't even know how lucky he was there. He probably feels like he had bad luck running an FD into a DT drop. But the fact that the game didn't just outright end, he's got to be counting his blessings here. Mine, you knew it was going to connect. It's best, man. They always connect. Another Dragoon falls. 2 other Dragoons take full damage. He's going in for another DT drop. It looks like he's going to try and hide it on the perimeter of the base and then walk in. Oh, please have like 4 DTs loaded up. Please, just pounce on that turret. Not gonna kill off the Dragoon, I don't think. Oh, this sucks for Sharp. He's gonna have his armory canceled. Ooh, that hurts. So gonna be another late armory build once again. No academy. And by the way, if we look at Sharp's natural, at least on the minimap, no gas. So he's really highly prioritizing the minerals, obviously, but to have no gas at 8 minutes, that means he's gonna have no mid-game or late-game power because he's gonna have no tanks. He's not gonna be able to flood factories either. Whoa, how does that have vision? I don't know how that DT got into vision. No way he walked through. Okay, I thought he was just gonna walk through the natural. He's gonna get another depot here. This is really great damage. Oh, hidden base at bottom middle. Hidden base. That is a hidden base. There we go. So this is one of the only ways that you can come back from damage like this, which is hidden base. Now, remember, thinking back to the Apocalypse game, Sharp hid a base, right? I guess it was hidden in plain sight at the third base. But you know what Best didn't do? He didn't even scout the rest of the map for any bases. So I think that this could actually get up and running. Hopefully Best watched the replay from Apocalypse and thought, or saw that there was a hidden base, and maybe learn from his mistake. But there's a real chance that this gets up and running and Sharp can crawl back into this game. I mean, look at the supply. No way he finds Templars again? Are you serious? 2 more Templars die. 3, 4. He gets all 4. And he's gonna get a probe. And he's gonna get 2 probes. 3. 4. 4 probes, 4 Templars, and he's gonna have hidden base. That is crazy. That is crazy. Please, Best, scout bottom middle. Please find this base. Don't let this guy come back into this game because you didn't scout the bottom side of the map. It's a gateway flood. I'm getting nervous. Gateway man, it can be one of the only comps that can just, get completely melted by the Terran just sitting there. This is, we all know that Retro has that choke between the main and the natural, where if Protoss engages there and Terran's just sitting, Protoss can have an incredibly unfavorable trade. So please, Best, this one game, go Carriers or Arbiters. Do not just sit on Gateway, man. I'm begging you. Not like this. Not versus a hidden base Terran. Terran is up in workers now. Terran is within 20 supply. You remember he was down 30. There's no third base, so Protoss is probably thinking that Sharp's going for a timing. But that's not the case. There's no way this is a timing. He's gone into 6 fact. Okay, maybe it is a timing. Maybe it is going to be 6 fact timing. No third. Okay, we know there's a third command center, but I mean no third command center to take mid right, even being built. Still no vision of this base at bottom middle. Protoss still has no idea. Protoss still on just Templar tech. More probes being found. How does he do it? And he gets the Templar. It's unbelievable. More probes. Another probe. And another probe. How? How? Up 11 workers. Sharp is already back in this game. In fact, I would say if he can get mid-right, he's probably winning this game. Yes, he's down supply, but remember on Citadel, Protoss did not take a lot of bases. If Protoss doesn't shut down mid-right and we get into this scenario where Terran is on 4 bases versus just 4 or 5 base Protoss, Terran's going to win the game. Terran is so strong in 4 bases if they can get it. Please, please find bottom middle, man. Okay, there's the command center. This just looks so much like Citadel, with Terran attempting to take such a late third base that I don't think bottom middle's ever being found. I think this just looks so similar that he really thinks that he's playing another Citadel game. And another big mine connection. 4 Zealots die for free within 20 supply. Terran is going to have high ground here. Terran has the tanks on the low ground that can also range the ramp. Terran's going to get this base. eBay's going to die. Who cares about that, though? He'll just rebuild that. What I like that Sharp did at bottom middle is a very tiny thing. Is he didn't build 20 SCVs there in case it got found. So he didn't like overcommit there. But he also made sure it's saturated. He has something like 10 SCVs there. So he's getting the full influx of the minerals. I would like to see him build 3 more to also get that gas. Like, it's not like the gas is towards the center of the map where potentially the observer will spot it, you know, just barely. If the observer spots anything, it's going to spot everything. So he needs to at least build the 3 SCVs there to get that gas coming. Because if he can get 4 gas, that would be amazing. Now, here we go. I don't like it, man. That's a lot of zealots. And this is the death choke. This is the choke that we saw somebody make a move here. Okay, Storm on the high ground. He's going to eliminate those 2 tanks. That's great. Not a lot of mines left over, but look at the funnel. The funnel is just so strong. Supplies are even. Supplies are even. Protoss may barely be able to push through, but he's going to lose everything for this. There's not that much left. Not that much left for Protoss, I mean. These Goliaths and tanks, they're running backwards. Oh, if he could focus down the army, that'd be fantastic, but I don't think he's going to get them. Terran is almost up in supply at this point. Okay, well, now he's down 20. The shuttle died. Can he focus down one of the armories? That'd be good. And then remove some SCVs. Okay, so at least he's even in workers now. That was a big win. Got rid of about 10 SCVs, but he lost his entire army. Look at Best Bang. This is what I was talking about. Because it's not Best playing, you know, 7-8 base Protoss, econ is really low. He only has 57 probes. He can't take a maxed army, suicide it like that, and you remax that quickly. Terran's even in supply now. This is so bad for Protoss. This is so bad. He doesn't know how bad it is, but it is so bad. Terran's gonna have 2-1 in a second. Terran never took top middle, right? So that's still a base that he can potentially take. He gets one Templar there. Finally, there's a good hold versus the Vulture harassment. But if Sharp can slowly take top middle, that'll put him on 5 bases. Have immense pushing power. He can also take the center. That's another thing that Terrans do on this map, is they take the center. Take the center while taking the top middle? Jeez, they would be on 6 bases. He doesn't even have to worry about taking bottom right. Probe count is... it's okay, 58. What I'm more worried about is the lack of gateways. I think he has like 10 gates in his main, but no gateways at bottom left. So it's not like he has, you know, 20 gates, mass, you know, flank potential or anything, and Sharp is on the move, man. Oh my goodness. Okay, well this could draw all the Dragoons into the 3rd base. That would be bad. Please kill all these Dragoons. Okay, he doesn't actually go into the 3rd base. Tanks. Looks like the tanks are kind of isolated. Tanks are isolated in the middle. Massive engagement. Oh, he caught some of the tanks. Did he, though? Yeah, he's going to get these 7 tanks. Not for free, but this was a really good catch. Going to trade very effectively here. But still, all this does is just, you know, even it up again. Still, Terran has a massive army. Big influx of money. Looks like these Zealots must have taken a big mine hit as expected. They're already half health. And Sharp? Okay, those are mines. They were moving so slow that I thought those were tanks. Gonna find some more Zealots. Oh no, those mine connections. You know that they must be connecting in the back. Oh, I can hear them dying. Lose supplies, 160 to 140. Tears up 20 supply into the mineral line once again. This is where a lot of the probes are. No transfer at all. These are all gonna die. Okay, actually, that's built a lot of probes for some reason. He's up to 60. I don't know why. We do see a lot of stuff being built at bottom left. Those don't look like those are gateways, though. Like, those are... yeah, those are not gateways. Those are Stargates. Double cybernetics. Quadruple... quintuple... quadruple Stargate with fleet beacon. And we hear a lot of scans going off, and he's probably scanning the main, seeing there's no cybernetic spinning, so he doesn't know that there's carriers actually coming. Big connection onto these Zealots and Templars with the mines. Sharp, he's starting to take bottom right. So that's going to put him on 5 bases if he gets that up and running. 5 base, 5 gas. Crazy econ for Terran. Terran's going to have... what is it? 3-2 soon? Yeah. He's got 2-1 right now. Protoss has 2-1 right now on his ground, so that's actually pretty good for Protoss. 2-1 versus 2-1 is actually surprisingly strong, but wow, 4 carriers being built all at the same time. All Protoss has to do is survive for 5 minutes. Can you do that, Bess? If you can survive for 5 minutes, that'll put him at 8 carriers. But I don't know if you're going to get to that point, because, like I said, Protoss does not have that many bases. There's only one position to attack, and that's bottom left. All the other bases don't matter. And that happens to be where all the carriers are. Now, I'm curious if actually Sharp scanned this, because I don't see very many Goliaths. There's 5, but he's been building 5 to 6 Goliaths to deal with the shuttles and the observers. This is such a powerful position. Max Terran versus Max Protoss. Now we saw, of course, Terran with the clutch hold at the choke. Can Protoss have the clutch hold at the choke right here? He needs it. And it doesn't look like actually Sharp knows that carriers are on the way, because at the rally point there were no Goliaths, absolutely none. These carriers could catch Terran off guard, even though Terran has the +3 power spike, which is massive. If he can get to 8 carriers, that's all he needs. 8 carriers, Storm, almost untouchable. Storm trying to hold the line, another good Storm. Oh, but Terran's pushing through. Endless storms, it feels like. A lot of vultures are dying, but not a lot of tanks. There's more tanks behind this, right? Another storm. Terran lost a lot. Down to 150 supply. Protoss is almost maxed. He's not gonna come. Is he turning around? Terran is turning around, and that gives Best time to build up his carriers. He's at 4 now. Sharp must have not scanned it, man. I guarantee you, if he knew that these carriers were there, he would definitely commit to bottom left. Instead, he's gonna turn his attention to top left. I think that's a huge mistake. These bases, okay, that base has a lot of minerals, but is this as important as bottom left? We clearly know the answer is no. Storm. Storm. Terran has so much still, man. He just has so many tanks. Look at how many tanks there are. But he needs Goliaths. Okay, he knows now. He's got Goliaths mixed in with his army. He has like 10 Goliaths there, trying to take the center. This base is dead. Okay, actually, this was a really good base to take. That's going to put Protoss down to just 2 base mining, because basically main and natural are mined out. Terran still has just such a stranglehold over the center. This is not something you see every day, where Terran is just patrolling the center because they have such a massive army. He has bottom right, man. He has such good econ. 4 carriers. Is it enough? Is it? Okay, 5, 6. 6 carriers, is that it? 7, okay. Going into 11 carriers. Crazy. Now, Best needs to get rid of bottom middle. This base has been running for so long. He needs to just get rid of this. Don't say to this guy, you cannot have this gas, man. Now, remember, Best has not been building that many observers. And I mention this because we had in the mini Sharp game, how did Sharp win those games? Hidden race. That could come into play here. He has so much gas available to him. He could definitely do a race switch. He can manage building non-stop out of his factories while also supporting race. That base is dead, and that puts Protoss on 1 base mining. Mid is going to get taken down, maybe? A lot of Goliaths, a lot of tanks here. No, it's not going to get taken down. So that base is going to still remain. These tanks are going to die, so Terran's going to lose a lot. He'll lose a lot of tanks. Okay, I see something built. Oh, it's a vessel. Just a vessel. But these carriers, they're going to be heavily upgraded pretty soon. They're going to have 2-2 in just a moment. And I was going to say there's a lot of walls and stuff on Retro. Kinda. Not as many as Citadel, that's for sure. But definitely a lot of angles to abuse as Protoss. Instead, Protoss is going to go towards the center. He wants this command center to get taken down. He still doesn't know about bottom right, I don't think. Oh, he does. I see the observer down there. So he needs to run across the map and kill these bases. He's not going to be able to get the center. We'll get some SCVs randomly mining bottom middle still. But if he commits to bottom right, he may lose everything. I think that's the dilemma for Best. If he goes bottom right, he may just lose everything. However, Sharp is kind of hesitant to make a move. He's gonna lose bottom right, man. And instead of him committing to top left or bottom left, he's just stuck in the center of the map. Now he's going to bottom left, but it's too late. This command center is dead. And I think Best will be able to get back in time. Remember, he also has these Templars on the ramp to buy him time. So Sharp is just gonna lose bottom right. I don't think he's gonna get rid of, I don't think he's gonna be able to get a kill on, okay, he's actually doesn't have those Templars on the ramp. Oh, the shuttle! Okay, this is dead. So we're getting into a very weird game state. Maxed armies versus maxed armies, but there's 11 carriers. Protoss is not mining in a second, by the way. Terran still has mining in the middle, still has mining in mid-right, still has a big gas bank. He could go race, like I said. I don't think you're going to be able to stop that army, but he can definitely stop this one. Dragoons can definitely be taken down. This DT is doing work in the main. Might actually save that base. Yeah, this one DT might save that base. 11 carriers, though. 10 carriers. I guess he focused one down. Those Goliaths are dead. Sharp has 25 workers. But look at that money for Best. He has almost no money. One base, well, I guess, sort of one base mining with his natural. Almost being mined out. Did he save bottom left? I don't think that DT's killing those Goliaths down there, so the Nexus might end up dying. That command center's dead. Sharp's broke. Oh, how did the game become like this? 140 to 140. So even worker count, even army supply, but I guarantee you, Terran would rather have mass carriers than have, tank Goliath. However, Protoss has to replenish those interceptors. But there's not critical mass Goliaths. There's no critical mass Goliaths. They can't kill these interceptors that well. Flanking Goliaths. But another carrier goes, okay, it's down to 8 now. 8. He's gonna lose another one. Down to 7. Wow. Best. You're losing all your carriers. Still has 7 remaining. Best. He did not save that Nexus at bottom right, by the way. But he does have, I was going to say he does have enough money to build a Nexus, but instead, he spent all of his money on something. Is there enough tanks now to deal with the ground army? I don't know if there actually is. 5 tanks, what is it, maybe 20 Goliaths? This is, I think actually Protoss is 1. I don't think there's enough Goliaths to deal with the air, and there's definitely not enough Goliaths to deal with the air plus storm. That's a fact. But Protoss is also not mining. 100 minerals, 125 minerals, that's it. Terran is trying to find. Oh, he drew the Goliaths out of position. D-Matrix, though, can save the day. 8 tanks in a dream. That is a lot of Zealots and a lot of Dragoons. The Goliaths are completely out of position. Look at them there. Half of them are at the bottom finding these carriers. But I think the ground army is too... Yep, all the tanks died, and that means that there's no chance. Protoss is going to win this game. This was a crazy game. Crazy comeback from Sharp. Almost thought he had it with how many bases he ended up taking. But not able to get the victory unless... Yeah, there's no way. It's 95 to 36. And with that command center falling, that's going to be game over in just a moment. Wow, so Sharp started up 2-0. All of a sudden it's 3-2. So reverse sweep coming? Can Best actually do it? There it is, GG. And this DT drop, it wasn't successful in game 1, but ended up being successful in game 5. And now what do you do at Sharp? He was, owning in the early stages of the series. Now, it's his last life. He's going to be going on Troy here. This is such a difficult map. Let's get into potentially the final game of the day between Best and Sharp. Can Best do it and make it out and get into the finals? Okay, so in the top right, 1 game away, it is Best. And in the bottom right, we do have Sharp. Now, as I've stated before, Troy is an immediate veto for me, so I have not played on this map at all. But I'm questioning whether you can get away with gasless on the map. Is it possible to do that? You know, forward gate, proxy gates, they're so strong, you'll just get walled in. So I think that, you know, the opportunity for Sharp to have mixed in something like gasless has come and gone. You're obligated to just go, you know, 11 gas, 12 gas at this point. So, you know, Best is going to know that coming from a mile away. We've got a forward pylon. I think this is just the expected opener. If you can get rid of one of the assimilators, the game's over. Terran's never getting out of their base. You're not winning one base Terran on an island map at that point. That's just an impossible feat. And there we go. 1 gate. Will he find him first? Remember, Best has been horizontal scouting all series long. And finally, there's some justice here. He horizontal scouts, and this means that he'll most likely find Sharp last. So at least that's going for Sharp. Once again, an 11 gas coming in. He wants to get that fast factory. 2 gate! Okay, well, this is not going to be a long game. And this is Best hoping that, hey, hope this guy goes for an 11 gas once again, has a low marine count, and I can take down either just outright kill him, or if I can't kill him, just kill his assimilators. Because as I said, killing the assimilators is a win condition. Terran's not going to win from a position like that. Now, unfortunately for Sharp, he's not going to get off a first scout. If he could find him at top right, maybe he could have a good answer to this. Immediate marine, so at least that's good. He didn't, you know, cut the marine to get a fast depot, but he's going to have to micro his heart out here versus this incoming 2 gate. Depot on the right side is going to set him up for a good SimCity, but this is just so hard to stop. With it being Troy, the rush distances are so close. And hello, Zealot's already here, and already 1 shot. 2! How did the Zealot gain ground on the Marine? Now he's 1 shot away from being killed. And that is not a flash SCV, it popped out. Took already 2 shots to the Zealot. The next 2 Zealots are already almost on the way. And behind this, by the way, Best is actually transitioning into gas. Not going to be a Nexus as a follow-up. He's going to have... Hello? Oh, we are back. Looks like the Marines and the Vultures actually got out. I didn't actually see the kills on the... Oh my gosh, this is a really clutch hold. But it looks like... Are those Dragoons on the way? No, those are Zealots. So actually this was a hold from Sharp. But the stream died for a minute for me, so that's why I wasn't able to comment anything. But it looks like actually this was clutch micro from Sharp there to actually hold. I mean, it's really hard to hold 2 gate with just Marines and Vultures, especially with cross spawns like this. But we've got 2 Dragoons 2 Zealots on the way. I'm looking at the worker count. I guess he must have lost some SCVs, but it's not a crippling loss. Like, I think he can definitely play out of... Oh, no, he moved out, and the Zealots and the Dragoons are here. Oh, the Vulture gets caught. See you later. Marine is going to die. Yep, that's all he can do is massively pull the SCVs. The tank is out. He's going to maybe hold... Okay, he's got the tank and Marine to hold, but that was a lot of damage. Almost the entire SCV line pulled right there. 3 SCs also trying to hold. Dude, you can't hold this. You can't be here. He needs mines right now. Oh, he has them. He has them. Connection. Oh, it did connect. I can't believe it. Whoa, that was insane timing from Sharp. He needed that. He needed that connection. If that mine doesn't connect, I think the Dragoon just walks up and kills everything. DT again. This time I didn't see a robo. Well, is this a 1 base? What's that? Okay, that's a depot. He's going into a second factory. I guess the Dragoons came up and saw that there was no command center, so he immediately put down a Citadel in response, because now he knows that this guy's going for a timing. And funny enough, you know, I've been talking about how Too Fat can't win at pro level. Well, I guess we're going to find out. He needs to go now. But he's, of course, not going to go now. Even if he goes now, I don't think he can beat 7 Dragoons. But I can tell you what he's not going to beat. He's not going to beat units that he can't see. Oh, 5 goons and... Oh, Zealots, they don't care about the mines. They're like, okay, you've got mines, well, I'll just clear them out. Oh, and remember, 4 goons kill a tank in 2 shots. There goes that 1 tank. There goes that tank. This is it. This is over. Best, he started down 2-0, but he's going to come back with the reverse sweep 4-0. That Vulture's gone. That mine's gone. Tank needs a miracle. Oh, he didn't repair. See ya. Man, this is a painful way to lose as Sharp, especially after the first 2 games. If I was Sharp after the first 2 games, I would have been thinking, like, I can't lose to this guy. This guy cannot stop my Vultures. But look at this. Best just brought it in the next 4 games. He's going to take the series 4-2. Even though I think the Sharp versus Mini series in particular was more epic, I think that this series was the series of the tournament for me. You know, I'm a Terran fan, so of course I'm a little biased here, but the games were incredible. Of course, the retro game, crazy. The Apocalypse build order from Sharp, insane. The execution from Sharp in game 1 was immaculate, but Best in the end, too strong today. He played phenomenally well in the last 4 games. Let's take a look at our results, of course. We had a victory. I guess we're looking at the bracket. So in the end, Sharp ends up losing 4-2. That does set us up for an interesting 3rd place match, which will be Sharp versus Shine. At least we're going to get, you know, TVZ there, which we haven't seen in a while. But it does get us also a very cool finals. It's going to be a PvP finals. I'm trying to look through the bracket right now. Did we even have a PvP in the round of 16 at all? Just going through it quickly. Yeah, we didn't even have a single PvP in the round of 16. So that's going to be a nice mix-up there. And it's going to be, once again, Snow trying to get his 2nd title. But I don't know, though, because Best has been playing so well, especially today, that I think there's a chance that Best could take down Snow. But Snow's just such a monster, especially with the Reaver, and Reaver is such a staple in PvP, that I think I'm going to favor Snow a little bit there. But, you know, I actually think the Shine Sharp series could also be exciting. Shine, look at the scores. 4-3 versus Snow. That was epic. I hope he can bring his A game versus Sharp. And I think Sharp's weakest matchup is TVZ. So overall, our last 2 series are going to be very exciting. So that is it today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoy the content from StarCastTV, definitely consider becoming a Patreon supporter. As you know, the support goes a long ways towards funding the tournaments, and we have, I think, StarCastTV Season 3 coming up. The funding was secured, so definitely look for that in the future. And I look forward to seeing you in the finals and third place match.